Hey y'all, welcome to Level Up Cajun Style with me, Chuck Bush. Today we're going to be cooking a blackened catfish and a cornmeal stew, and we're going to level them both up. So stick around. Allons cuisiner. Hey y'all, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. Do me a favor now. We're going to be really good friends. This is my number 6 show, I believe. So just hit subscribe down there for me and ring the bell for notifications because we want you to be part of this experience every time we put a show up. All right, so blackened catfish. That's an interesting term, blackening. For many years, as I've lived out of state, people have said, well, Chuck, blackened? I mean, why do you burn a perfectly good piece of meat? And that's not what it's about. It's about the spices that go on it. Now, we've talked on the show before about how spices in Cajun cooking are not to be scorching the skin off the roof of your mouth. It's really meant to be very flavorful. And nothing really demonstrates that before now in my shows like blackened catfish. Now, blackening actually started with Chef Paul Prudhomme, made famous in his New Orleans restaurant, K. Paul's, rest your soul. And it's just using twice as many seasonings as I've ever used before on this show. And the seasonings we're going to be using for this are black pepper, cayenne pepper, dillweed, garlic salt, lemon pepper, onion salt, paprika, parsley, and thyme. And as always, the key ingredient for us is Piedmont's Cajun shake. Those are all the spices, and of course we can't have blackened catfish without a nice big chunk of catfish. Okay, y'all, so let's get rolling. What we're gonna do now, remember that this catfish fillet, and every catfish fillet you use, not just this one, needs to be around room temperature. Because if it's cold, again, the flesh is gonna be contracted and it's not gonna let the spices penetrate. So the first thing we're gonna do to help the spices stick is I have melted here, with the assistance of Mr. Frank Schroeder, I have melted here about 2 tablespoons of butter. And I'm just gonna drizzle a little butter across the top of this dude so the spices are gonna stick a little bit better, okay? Very, very simple. It's getting all over my cutting board rather. I'm gonna just drizzle it in there. Ooh, nice, nice, nice. All right. Second, we just start piling on the spices, okay? And again, we just wanna cover this. There's no, Chuck, how many, the pinches of pepper or pinches of whatever. No, we just wanna cover this, all right? So we're gonna cover, first of all, black pepper. We're gonna put a nice thick coat of every spice. Black pepper, cayenne pepper. And here's a helpful tip from me to you. You don't want to put cayenne pepper on this thing and then wipe your eyes with this because it will burn your eyes right out of your head. We're going to take some dill and go over the top. All right. Garlic salt. Now, Chuck, why salt? Well, we're not using any kosher salt in this particular recipe because if we had onion salt, garlic salt, and all those things, it would be extremely salty, smacky, and catfish just doesn't like to be enveloped in all that salt. It's just not good and not healthy for you. All right, paprika next. Dried parsley. See, if you're looking at this dude, it kind of looks blackened already. And then a little bit of thyme. Everybody wants a little bit of thyme. Throw a little thyme on there, and there we go. All right, and then we're going to just rub that in real quick, make sure every surface of that is nice and covered. Okay, you ready? No, not quite yet, because you're going to eat both sides, so we got to spice both sides. All right, so here we go. Same thing all over again. Nice black pepper, cayenne pepper, dillweed. Funny putting weed on top of catfish. Garlic salt, a little bit more garlic salt. There we go. Lemon pepper. Onion salt. That's okay. Paprika. Not eureka, paprika. A little bit of parsley. And limo thyme. Everybody needs a limo thyme. All right. All right, that's looking right. That's what a blackened piece of catfish or redfish or whatever fish you're going to use is supposed to look like. So our next step, now that we have this look, and guys, look, that looks blackened enough. So we're already kind of putting aside those myths about transferring from the skillet and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's prepare our fire now. Let's prepare our heat. So we're going to turn this guy on full heat, full blast, full run. All right, and we're going to take grapeseed oil. Why grapeseed oil? Put a little splash of grapeseed oil in here. We use grapeseed oil because it has a high smoke point, meaning it's not going to burn in high heat. You don't want oil burning and giving more burning taste. And then we're going to do a little, this is a semi-level up. We're going to drop just a little bit of lemon juice in here. Just a splash, just for flavor, just for taste. I always like a little bit of lemon with my fish of any kind. All right? We get this guy just searing hot. We can see that. Hear it? It's already sizzling and popping. All right, here we go. Now we're going to take our filet that's fully seasoned, and we're going to lay it in the pot, and we're going to lay it away from us because we don't want anything to necessarily splash. Bam! That's the heat I'm talking about right there. All right, we're going to let it sit here for about 3 minutes, and then we're going to flip it over and flip it back over for about another 3 minutes after that. Of course, it all depends on how it looks, right? Because we don't want it to burn proper, okay? Let's keep an eye on this dude. Okay, so now you can see it's smoking a little bit. So the 3 minute mark has come. So now I'm gonna try to scrape this dude off of here. And what color do you think it's gonna be? Blackened. And that is what a blackened catfish fillet is supposed to look like. All right, so wait another minute or two and it'll be done. Okay, also real quickly, it's time to level up our catfish. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use Tabasco, Louisiana's own Tabasco sauce. Now we're not gonna use a lot of Tabasco, we're just gonna drizzle a little bit over the top. Okay. And the next step for us, we're gonna turn the fire off. And the next step before we get into our corn mock shoe is we're gonna take this guy in a oven-safe skillet, plop it in the oven for just a few minutes at 400 degrees and braise the top just a little bit more. Now, some people do that, some people don't. I'm just telling you about that because it's a little tip and a trick. We're gonna put this guy, this is again an oven-safe skillet. We're gonna pop it in, and while it's settling in there for a few minutes, we're gonna go ahead and start cooking the corn mock shoe. Are you ready? Hey y'all, okay, as a reminder, you are watching Level Up Cajun Style with Chuck Bush, that's me. And this is the second half of what we're gonna be cooking today. We're gonna be cooking a corn mock shoe. Now, like most Cajun recipes, this is very, very, very difficult to do. Very specific details, you gotta follow it to the T. Yeah, right, okay. So, not hardly. What we're doing is we're warming up our saucepan here with a nice butter. It's a sweet corn butter. We're gonna be making the corn mock shoe, which is a fancy way, really, of saying corn stew or stewed corn. It has its origins, corn mock shoe, in both French Creole and Spanish, each having their own derivative of mock shoe as, you know, its claim to fame. But in literal translation, corn mock shoe literally translates in French to mock cabbage. Where does that come from? I don't know. It may point to the fact that there may have been some kind of cabbage in this recipe in the past, but as far back as I could check, I could not find any. All right, so we're heating this guy up. We really don't, as opposed to what we just did with the blackened catfish, we really don't want to use high heat here. We're gonna have our butter in here. We're gonna put on top of that. We're gonna put all our chopped onions. Oh, I like that little sizzling sound. Sizzling sound's good stuff. Okay, and then after that, following that, we're gonna put in our red bell pepper. And you know, Chuck, yeah, you know, how much, Chuck? How much of each? Well, that's up to you. We're only cooking about 2 cups of corn today, and so I don't want to put a whole big match, but I'm going to put about 40% other vegetables and 60% corn for our corn mock shoe. All right? We're just going to let this stew for a second. Start to get a little bit wilted. Now, right about now, you're going to say, Chuck, you got all these awesome veggies in here. How are you going to level it up? Well, you have to wait and see and find out because we don't tell you that until the end of the show. All right? But I promise you're going to like it. Oh, guys, and I'll tell you what, we say this every week, week in, week out. Just be glad it's television, not smell-o-vision, because you would be trying to take a bite out of your television at this point in time, or your computer, as the case may be on YouTube. Let these wilt down just a little bit. We're not going to let them wilt down very much because we want to transfer these flavors into the corn. So you don't want to cook the flavors out just yet. So we're gonna let this stew cook down just a bit, just a couple of minutes on a nice medium heat. And now here comes the big one. You ready? Bam! Look! Oh man, that is a festivity of colors. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous stuff. Didn't get it all. Left some in there. And now we're just gonna mix them all up. You're like, Chuck, is that all there is to it? Because that doesn't look really hard. Guys, it's really not really hard. When I was a young man, growing up back in the age of when dinosaurs roamed the earth, my mother used to fix something like this that she called succotash. And sometimes there was a little ham in it. Sometimes there was a little mushroom in it. Different people do it different ways. But this is more of a strict corn makshu recipe. And of course, the one thing we have to add, it's a moral imperative, always Piedmont's Cajun shake. That's going in right on top. Just a nice little coating. Chuck, how much you putting in? Put it into taste, y'all. It's up to you. You can put it in heavy, you can put it in light. I prefer just a nice little coating because it's not heavy in salt. And as we saw from our previous dish, our blackened catfish is very heavy in every spice. And this is going to be served with that blackened catfish. It's another favorite, served with the blackened catfish. So we don't want it to be too overwhelming spice-wise. We want it to match. We don't want it to be completely bland, but we don't want it to overpower the taste of that blackened catfish. And look, while we're talking, really, the blackening process you saw really works with any protein. You can blacken chicken if you want. You can blacken redfish if you want. You can even blacken shrimp for some strange reason if that's what you want to do. So that's what we're gonna just continue to stew this down, and we'll be right back. Okay, y'all, while we're letting this cook down just a little bit over medium flame, we want to make sure that our vegetables, especially our onions, start getting a little translucent and it'll be ready. It's no big mystery, no big science. And then, of course, I got to level up. And you keep asking me, Chuck, what's the level up, Chuck? Come on, I'm curious. What's the level up? Tell me now. And it's like, no, you're going to have to wait, just like everybody else, for what the level up is. In the meantime, what we want to announce is the winner of this week's Cajun Care Package. Are you ready? Let the pigeons loose. Our winner this week, chosen at random, is Bill Burke. Bill, you have won the Cajun Care Package, which is right here behind me. This is everything that Piedmont makes, including his Cajun chicken fry, Cajun fish fry, seafood boil, his hush puppy mix. We have his hamburger mix. We also have Piedmont's Cajun rub, Piedmont's Cajun shake, always Piedmont's Cajun shake, and his habanero ketchup for your taste buds delight. Now, if you want to win one of these for yourself, all you have to do is go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and click notifications, and you are eligible to win the Cajun Care Package. Now, Chuck, what is that all about? Well, the Cajun Care Package is just some of the best stuff that Piedmont makes, and over $60 or so worth of value, $58, $59 worth of value that we sell on our website for under 50 bucks, about $48. And if you want it, you can go to our website right here, CajunCookingNetwork.com, and get yourself one, or roll the dice, become a subscriber, and you are eligible to win your Cajun Care Package. Now, back to this corn makshu because it's starting to cook down a little bit more. We're going to roll it around because we don't want it to stick, and we want to make sure it's not too hot because that butter's going to burn. Remember we said about butter. It's going to make it really nice and yucky if it burns. All right? So we have our blackened catfish, kind of stewing a little bit, braising in the oven while we cook the corn makshu. Going to cook it down a little bit longer, and oh, but wait, we have to level it up. How in the world are we going to level this up? How are we going to level this up? We're going to add a little more Piedmont's Cajun shake. Is that the level up, Chuck? Piedmont's Cajun shake? Because you do that every dead gum show. No, it's not. The level up for the corn makshu is, drum roll please, someone, anyone, we're going to do, pull it out from behind here, try to keep my fingers out of it. We have some half and half cream. And what is that going to do? Well, we drop it in here just to make it a little more stewy, to bring out some of the, to bring out some of the starchiness in the corn, and it just takes the flavor to a whole nother level. It amplifies all of our vegetables, and it amplifies the Piedmont's Cajun shake. And that, my friends, is how you make a nice corn makshu. So we'll let it cook down a few more minutes, and we're going to plate it up with that blackened catfish for your viewing pleasure. All right, y'all, so now we've gotten our blackened catfish plated up, fresh out of the oven. We've got our corn makshu stewed a little bit down. You'll notice all that cream you put in there is now gone away, and it's brought out all that starchy flavor in all the vegetables. All right, so let's put this on the plate now with our corn makshu, with our blackened catfish. Woo, the color, y'all, the color. Don't need this heat anymore. Yes. In Cajun cooking, flavor is everything, but next to flavor, y'all, is presentation. And we have gorgeous corn colors next to this beautifully blackened catfish. Wow, that's amazing. It's just amazing. So we're gonna try it here in just a minute. In the meantime, we're glad you guys came along for the next one. We've leveled up our blackened catfish. We've leveled up our corn mac shoe. We've leveled up Bill Burke. You can level yourself up by ordering your own Cajun care package. Go to our website, check us out, find us on Facebook, and you can find us on Instagram as well. Thanks for hanging out with us today. God bless you. God bless America, and allons cuisiner.